To learn from experience is to make a backward and forward connection between what we do to things and what we enjoy or suffer from things in consequence. Under such conditions, doing becomes a trying, an experiment with the world to find out what it is like. The undergoing becomes the instruction, the discovery of the connections of things. John Dewey.
So here today we have myself, Teresa Langoni,
Emily Hubbard,
Emeline Sichter.
We are going to discuss connected learning through the following talking points of economical, social, technological trends, and the challenges they pose to the transformation of our current educational system.
If connected learning, as pointed out in the Ito et al. Resource, is to be defined by a set of values, how can we incorporate this philosophy of learning into the formal education system?
In order to purposefully integrate values into the current education system, educators need to focus on utilizing various tools and techniques to inspire creativity, the social aspect of learning, and how in the classroom and as a community we can grow, learn, and gain experience from one another.
But learning doesn't just take place in the classroom, does it? You mentioned the idea of learning from a community. Personal values are elevated by one's culture. A student's identity is developed by what they are immersed in.
With that in mind, connected learning goes beyond the scope of traditional education and curriculum. Because the experiences are student-led and connected to their own interests and values, we're able to reach all students, not just some.
This makes me think of the case studies 8 and 9 U Media Chicago, where the community set up a center in the library that promoted socialization through gaming and social media interactions, where a mentor was provided as well as librarians were on hand to answer and provide guidance for the kids who came to the center. This social interaction employed the principles of connected learning, being interest-driven and engaging, that would yield an outcome of meaningful learning. This type of informal learning stresses the importance of civic engagement and the value of hands-on learning through a social component. The resources available at the library create a level field of access to technology and other resources that some students may not have available at home. The Digital Literacy Standard 2 supports this by establishing the guidelines of communication, work, and collaboration with others using digital tools to build knowledge, convey ideas, create, revise, contribute, and support individual learning as well.
In this way, we are continuing to build on one's foundational literacies and knowledge. We are taking personal experiences and creating more pathways or opportunities for meaningful learning. Referring to the metaphor used in connected learning, we need to consider the ecology or the character of the spaces in which these children develop, taking into account the child's position in meanings, practices, structures, and institutions of family, neighborhood, culture, peer relations, school, and globally. These young people are shaped with a broader social and cultural context. The sociology of a childhood is complex.
So, we're here to connect the cultural, informal learning with formal learning. How can we break the boundaries of pre-existing standards and begin to make connections inside and outside the classroom to enhance learning? An example of how education can help facilitate the connection between in-school learning and out-of-school interests is Manhattan's Quest to Learn school, allowing sixth grader Tal to follow her interests and grow academically as a result. Part of the gaming community outside of school, Tal was able to help create a Minecraft club at school to connect with others. Additionally, she enjoyed writing scripts for gameplays, which she was able to work on with more and more frequency at school and during this club time. Because of this, not only was she engaged at school, but she was able to grow academically because of all the work she was doing in creative writing. This shows how simple things can be done in schools to facilitate student interests and create meaningful learning opportunities for students can lead to major results.
Those simple things, those meaningful learning opportunities, are already in the bare bones of our current education system. We have the resources that can enrich learning that might not be otherwise available to less advantaged children. We can level the playing field with connected learning because connected learning focuses on building diverse entry points and pathways for opportunities.
This is not a new approach to learning, but rather an ongoing effort to draw linkages between existing approaches that share a set of core values. Connected learning will necessarily always be a work in progress. It seeks to describe particular technologies, learning design, and research approaches that support and amplify this broader vision of educational reform. It stresses an approach to systems thinking. It is production centered where production and performance are paramount. The process encourages failure as a means to creating new learning opportunities. Case study 4, Boss Level, focused on a student interest powered through a weave of numerous interests and cultural interests, resulting in a blur between conventional divisions and educational and peer cultures. This can best be obtained through the process of open networking.
The Quest to Learn School makes valuable connections between school based practices, resources, institutions, and persons beyond the school walls. Their case study gives greater meaning to the learning that takes place for their students, optimizing the potential of their pupils by granting them access to a larger community, a larger audience, opening their network from just their peers and teachers to a broader audience. This concept or implementation of connected learning poses some concerns in the greater public education system. Time away from preparation for standardized tests is something not many are willing to succumb to. What are the different ways we can produce more meaningful lessons with connected learning in mind, while still focusing on the essential literacies and skills needed to succeed in academic assessments?
That's a great question, Emily. I think we should look at Ito et al.'s quote, which states, "Connected learning seeks to integrate three spheres of learning that are often disconnected and at war with each other in young people's lives: peer culture, interests, and academic content. Therefore, by attempting to integrate these different aspects of our students' lives, we make learning more meaningful to them." New York State's digital standards offer us a platform from which to build on academics while integrating peer culture and students' interests. One major standard that New York State offers through all grade levels is communicating and collaborating with peers using digital tools. Many projects and learning opportunities can be created through this, whether it be having students make a podcast, share ideas online through a class page or blog, or using digital media of any other form as part of your students' experience in learning collaboratively. Students today, especially, are pretty well versed in communicating online and may even offer their own ideas on how their interests would best be translated into online communication. In this manner as well, we can connect in-school learning to at-home life by allowing families to be involved in the communication network. An example of this is how Quest to Learn had students share weekly podcasts with their families as they updated on their progress through their projects at school.
Connected learning in this light offers opportunities for making interest driven, engaging, and meaningful learning accessible to more young people, making connections to the wider world, valuing the concept of hands on social learning, and providing the students with the opportunity to reflect on their learning process, to share with others, to be constructively critiqued, to be valued themselves. These are all essential.
Learning is meaningful when it is part of valued relationships, shared practice, culture, and identity. Young people need connection and translation between in school and out of school learning. G states The mind stresses the importance of experiences in the world to human thinking and problem solving, and the ways in which these experiences are mediated by various tools and technologies. We can engage students to help effectively shape their learning experiences with the concepts of connected learning and design thinking in mind, and we can mindfully make progressive actions towards constructing a new pathway for educational purposes.
Thank you so much for joining us today to discuss connected learning and to help visualize how it could be incorporated into our current education system. We are the catalyst.